Today, in the Avyak signal, Baba is underlining the power of sowing the seeds of elevated thoughts. And in the world, it is said that even if the seed doesn't give instant result, instant fruit, you should never forget the power of sowing a seed. Because when a seed is sown, then sooner or later there will be an outcome. There will be the fruit. And Baba is today underlining the power of sowing the seed of elevated thoughts about your own progress and about seva. So, if you check deeply, everyone would be able to discern how many elevated thoughts you create for your own progress. Because you see, Baba has given us a lot of understanding and knowledge about what are the elevated actions that will lead to self-progress. For example, the action of, getting up at Amrit Vela and early in the morning remembering Baba with a lot of love, or the act of having a chart of 8 hours of Baba's remembrance, or the act of absolute purity. And purity has many dimensions. So, to begin with, purity of, being free from lust, or being celibate, or the purity of food, 100%, whatever I eat is only cooked in Baba's remembrance. And I consume even a glass of water in Baba's remembrance. Or, the act of, studying and revising knowledge, which is going to help us progress on the spiritual path. So, Baba says at least revise the Murli 5 times and then keep churning the points of the Murli. So, these are all the acts, the elevated acts that make you progress in spiritual life. And then Baba says, what are elevated thoughts for self-progress? So, elevated thoughts are when you think about performing these acts, just like Baba asks you to. So, you see, sometimes if you check deeply, instead of taking thoughts that help us in self-progress, we are taking the opposite of those thoughts. Now you see, Baba has told us a law that you will get only what you do. You cannot get more than you do. And Baba has told us what to do. But if you keep creating this thought, I can't do this. So, there are many children who keep creating this thought, I can't get up at Amrit Vela. Or, they keep not only creating that thought for themselves, but they will keep telling me also, that Didi, my lifestyle is such that I cannot get up at Amrit Vela. Now, if you see, even if you tell me 100 times, the law says that if you want to burn your sins, you have to get up. And if you can't get up, you can't burn your sins and you can't go to the world of purity. And this is very clear. Only the one who does what Baba says will get what Baba gives. And if I create the opposite of those, the thoughts that don't help me reach those actions, but rather sabotage it. So then, what am I doing? Instead of sowing the seed of an elevated thought, I'm uprooting the path of self progress disturbing the path of self progress by creating weak thoughts. So Baba says that at least sow the seed, even if you are not doing what Baba asks us to do, at least don't say, I can't do. Don't think I can't do. Keep sowing those elevated thoughts that I am the one who does it every cycle and I will do it. And make a plan, keep planning in your awareness that I am going to do this from today. So, for example, if you just sow the seed that I am going to maintain a chart of remembrance of 8 hours from today, and you keep watering that seed. How do you keep watering that seed? There are two things. First, you do not forget that thought, you keep revising that thought that I have to today finish 8 hours of yoga, and then keep taking steps towards it. Maybe at the end of the day, you will know how many hours of yoga you had. But then, as soon as you have that thought that, today I have to have 8 hours of yoga, then what you do is you submit 10 minutes, you at least contribute 10 minutes to that thought. So that's like watering that thought. So instead of leaving it unattended, you have watered it with your time, your energy, your action. So keep doing that. Or, about purity also, I want to absolute purity of food. Let me just pledge to myself that from today onwards, I will have absolute purity of food and drink. And then at least, every meal you pay attention that I did not consume anything that is not prepared in Baba's remembrance and not consumed in Baba's remembrance. So as you keep doing that, you will progress. And then the thoughts that you created will bear fruit. So the seed will be sown and the seed will also bear fruit. Now, only when thoughts become acts, then acts will create a fortune. But if you don't even sow the seed of an elevated act for self progress, then how can you ever create your fortune? And I have seen many children of Baba, most of the acts that Baba asks us to perform on Srimad, they take for granted that this I can't do. This is not possible. So, they just take it for granted. And then what happens is, because you've taken it for granted, you are never sowing even the thought that I am doing it or I can do it. And if you don't sow the seed of the thought, then how can you ever do it? So Baba says, at least, take points from the Murli and check what are you not doing. And maybe, I think that my circumstances are not allowing me, or maybe my karmic account is a little strong right now, but at least I can sow the seed. I may not be able to bring fruit to it, but right now I can sow the seed. So just make a list of all the thoughts which you would like to sow as a seed today. And then keep sowing that, watering it, sustaining it, and gradually it will turn into a fruit. Then Baba says also thoughts of seva. There are many children who never even create a thought for seva. And I will tell you, there is this one sister, and when she came and did the course, so she said that I want to make a center for Baba. And when she was doing the course, she was all of 26 years of physical age, and she was into a new job. And for every single day, she kept watering that thought that I want to make a center for Baba. And at that time, she did not even have a place to call her own. She did not own a house. And she never created a thought, I want a house for myself. No, which people generally do when they start earning money. But then she always had this clear thought that I want to make a center for Baba. I want to be the instrument. And then, that thought, that one thought, she kept sustaining with her effort, with her, willpower, everything. And then slowly, gradually, she got so many promotions in 4 years, which looked like impossible for anybody. And then, immediately when she was eligible for a big loan, she took that loan and she created a building. She got a building constructed, and in that building, she had one floor and she gave 3 floors to Baba. And in that building, now there is seva going on. And that seed, of seva. So you see, when she had nothing, she just had the power to plant a seed. And she did that. And she always says that I know that I was 26 years of age and I was not capable of doing anything. But I also knew that my Baba is almighty. And I knew that Baba only needs instruments. And she said, from the classes I had understood that you only have to be a clean and powerful instrument. And I just did that. And she said, I have not done anything, Didi, everything Baba has done. And you see, this is the power of a thought. And when you create a thought, you have to also nurture it. Sometimes children, they don't even create a thought for seva. Rather, they create a thought of the opposite of seva, that, I can't do this, or, I have this limitation and that limitation. But just think about it. Will you do seva? No, Baba will make you do it. But Baba is akarta abhokta. Baba can't do it directly. So you need to sow the seed. You need to water it with your determination and attention and willpower. And then Baba will fructify it. No, Baba is here for that. So Baba will make that thought fruitful. But every child needs to create elevated thoughts for self-progress and for seva. And when a child creates a thought, Baba fulfills it. But if the child doesn't even take the effort to plant a seed, then how can Baba fructify it? So this is a very important thing that Baba is talking about. And then Baba talks about the power of, the fortress of a gathering. So in Hindi, we call it Sangathan ki Shakti. So when we are all together, we are united, it's a very big power. And you see, any big task can only be done by a gathering. It can be done with collective power. Individual power cannot do too much. But when we are a gathering and we are many souls aligned in purpose and aligned in our vibrations, then we can bring about a very big task. So there is this very simple example that what can a finger do? Almost nothing. But when 5 fingers come together, they become a fist, and You can do so much with the hand. So this is the power of, a gathering, or the power of collective consciousness, or the power of togetherness, or the power of many people doing something together. And then there is another saying which says that a wall is only as strong as its weakest brick. So, if one brick is weak in the wall, then the brick has the power to bring the whole wall down. And you see, even when we talk about the story of Ramayana, then we say that if you have a Vibhishan in your own team, so that person who is not aligned with your purpose and ideas, then that person can bring you down, because that person will partner with the enemy. So Baba says that this is why the power of unity is very important. And I remember there was this one brother. So of course, Baba talks about unity in the Brahmin family, because we Brahmins are entrusted with this humongous task of changing the world. So Baba says here we need the power of unity, we need the power of a gathering. And Baba says when all we souls come together, we are aligned within our hearts. And then what happens is we create something like a fortress. And in earlier times, forts were created so that the enemy cannot attack. And Baba says, when you are all together in your consciousness and your hearts are together, and every Brahmin has love and respect for each other, and we are not in dissonance, we are not in conflict with each other, then this gathering becomes like a fortress where nobody can bring us any harm. Because you see, when Baba comes and does his task, there are many people who try to pull, this task down, and they try to sabotage Baba's task. But then, if we are together and we create this kind of fortress, then no enemy can actually pull us down. So Baba says that create this fortress. And Baba says some points about how to create this power of a gathering. So first thing Baba says is, be loving and have regard for one another. So do you understand that we are all very different? Even when we come to Baba or we take the same gyan, we are still very different from each other. But we must have regard and love for every Baba's child in our heart, because they are our family. And you see, in a family, it is very important to have regard and love equally for each other. And when you have love and regard, when love and regard is compromised, then the family starts to crumble down. I remember there was this one family I saw, and in that one brother was not well. He did not keep well physically and mentally most of the time. He had a lot of, papers of health, physical and mental both. And because of those, he couldn't work, he couldn't earn. And then the other people in the family, they were very well off. So they had enough resources to take care of this brother also. And they were doing that. They were financially taking care of him. But then, there was no love and regard. So, when food was served, then this brother would be served last. And then, even when there's a second round of serving, then he wouldn't be asked whether he needs a second serving, and very, very little things, but they were a reflection of love and regard, and lack of love and regard, because otherwise the family was very well off and they could afford everything. They could afford sustaining this brother without him doing anything, very comfortably. But this lack of love and regard, and then this brother who was not keeping well, he became so mentally ill that he created a lot of problems for the family. And then nobody could be in peace because they were all working in high positions, and they had to suffer a lot of defamation. And because this brother went around telling everybody that my brothers are not treating me well, and this is being done to me and that is being done to me. And then because of that, the whole family had to suffer a lot of insult, and a lot of things happened. And then this brother got he threw a lot of disturbance, and he was arrested by the police, and that became a very big thing. So, and but I saw that family from a long time, and I could always feel that it's lack of love and regard. And even in this Brahmin family, you see, we are all variety of souls, and we are all very different from each other. Somebody may be very good in physical seva, they may not be able to give classes or something, or somebody would be able to contribute financially, but they would not be available all the time or stuff. So we must understand that every Brahmin is important. Every Baba's bacha is important, and Baba's task is done by all of us together. So irrespective of how much and in what form each one is contributing, we could at least, have love and regard for each other. So, that respect and regard and the bare minimum, we could do with each other. And if we did that, then there would be a big, power that we would create through that. And the power of gathering is huge. Otherwise, one weak brick would bring so much disturbance to the whole setup that, everybody would be disturbed. And I remember there was this one brother, and he's running a company. And some few days back, he was asking me, Didi, my team is very good, but they're all very intelligent people. And sometimes we have a conflict where, somebody says that let's do it this way. And then I say, I'm the owner of the company. So I say, let's do it this way. And then I see that there is a conflict. So I told him, you see, you are the owner, you are the bigger person. And when, so when you people sit together and you decide, then you're deciding as a team, right? And you are always thinking, it starts with thinking what is right for the company. But, when you start discussing, and because we are all full of egos, so there comes a point where the question changes from what is right to who is right. And then the conflict starts happening. So I told him that when that point reaches and you see yourself, you observe yourself going into that fight of who is right, and I am the owner and you must listen to me, and you're no more thinking about what is actually right, then surrender there, just give regard and just, keep their word, because they are all intelligent people. They will not tell you something which will bring loss. It may bring a little less profit, but it's okay. So then he said that I followed that, and there is so much unity now in our company that when I speak, they surrender, and when they speak, I surrender. So now we are all able to work together as a team in the real sense. So Baba says that, this love and regard is very important for any gathering to have power. It could be a workplace team, it could be a family, and of course, Baba is talking about the spiritual family where the power of a gathering is very important. Then, second thing Baba says about cultivating this power of Sangathan or this power, unity, where Baba says that just, be content and make everybody content. So, how do you remain content in every situation? Even if something is not happening according to you, just don't create any thought of complaint and criticism. Refrain from that. So, as soon as you check that, discontentment and lack of happiness and thoughts of criticism and thoughts of, thoughts of complaints have started, that this person should do this and they are not doing this. So immediately stop that and change that. You can use the knowledge of the drama to do that, and or the knowledge of the soul that we are all different, so we'll do it differently. So just use the points of knowledge, use yoga power, and in any situation, although things are not happening your way, just don't lose your quality of contentment, because discontentment will give rise to complaints and will give rise to blame, and then slowly, gradually, the whole gathering falls. And if somebody is there, you will complain with them. But what when they leave? Then also you will live without them, right? And that would be more inconvenient. So at least, they are there, they are doing something, and then even if they are not doing it the way you want it, just make peace with it, that at least they are not doing what as you want it, but they're doing something, and that's great. So yeah, they're bringing some contribution, and that's great. So, and if they left, that contribution will also be gone. So just stay content. And then when it comes to your actions, don't make the effort to make somebody discontent. So, mostly, we live in a culture where we say tit for tat. And then if somebody is not doing things according to me, then I would say, I won't do things according to you. No. But if we copied each other and we created this culture of discontentment, then the whole system will fall apart. So what we have to do is, whether somebody is behaving according to me or not, be content and never do anything purposefully to create discontentment in the other. And believe me, we do such things, don't we? So when you are discontented, psychology says that when you are suffering from any negative emotion, you want the other person also to feel like you. You also want the other person to feel like you are feeling. And then you also start doing the same thing that they are doing. For example, somebody is shouting at you, then what do? You also choose to shout at them, because psychology says you want to make somebody feel the pain that you are feeling, feel the misery that you are feeling. But that is about body conscious Kalyugi souls. So psychology is a study of Kalyugi souls, not of Satyugi souls. So what is Satyugi psychology? So Satyugi psychology is, even if somebody is giving you pain, you give them happiness. So you don't do anything purposefully, because you don't take that pain and you don't give pain. So first, even if somebody is not doing things according to you, even if that is intentional, you don't take that pain, you don't take that sorrow. You remain content, you remember points of knowledge, you use your power of yoga to create contentment, and you stay contented. and then you don't do anything to purposefully make them discontented. So, as much as you can do things to make them happy. So, if they, if they want you to do things in a certain way, if it is not against Srimad, it doesn't require a lot of effort for you to do it that way. So, just do it. And if they are happy with that, good enough. For example, when somebody cooks, they don't cook your favorite meals. But then when you cook their favorite meals. So, if you did just that, that would make them feel that, this person is not doing the same thing. So let me also change. Then third thing Baba says is, do not disturb anyone and do not let anybody disturb you. And it is up to you to not let anybody disturb you. Even if they are doing something disturbing, it is up to you to think about it or not think about it and be disturbed or not be disturbed. So you must know, and if you ask me, I have personally challenged myself that nobody should have the power to disturb me. So this is a personal challenge that I've given myself, that if somebody is able to disturb me, then they are more powerful than me, and I won't let that happen. So anybody can do whatever they want and I won't get disturbed. This is a challenge I've given to myself, and it's been many years, and this challenge has worked wonders for me. So just tell yourself that I have the power to not let anybody disturb me. So somebody can hit your ear, your eye, your body, but they cannot hit your mind until and unless you choose to think about their actions or their words or their behavior. So don't think about anything that anybody is doing, because anyways, they are playing their prefixed part in the drama and it has got nothing to do with you. So just let go of this thought that anybody can disturb you. And then you don't disturb anybody. You don't cause trouble to anybody. You don't create obstacles in the path of somebody's seva and self-progress. You don't become an instrument to upset somebody, or you don't become an instrument to do something which makes them lose their happiness. Be aware of that. And then fifth thing Baba says, if you want the gathering or the sangathan to grow and have power, then keep nurturing everyone with your good wishes, good thoughts, good feelings. So, keep giving blessings to everybody. Never say that this person will not change, or they are like this, or this is their nature, or I am tired of this person. No. That is the only asset you have. So keep giving blessings and good wishes and good feelings. And I will tell you from experience that although it takes some time, sometimes it takes years. But if you keep nurturing everybody with your good wishes and good feelings and blessings, then people come around and they come together. So these things pay off. They never go unrewarded. But what happens is, if you're not powerful enough, if you are not yogi, if you're not putting in the hours of yoga that Baba asks you to put in, then what happens is, when you're conscious, you will give good wishes and good feelings. But when your sanskar takes over, you will give the opposite of that also, and that too in great magnitude. And that is why, this process of creating a good sangathan is not happening. But if you are able to sustainably give good wishes, good feelings and blessings to everyone, and that can only happen when you're free from expectations. Even the expectation that this good wishes and good feelings should work in some time, Sometimes people say 3 months we've been giving good wishes and it has not worked. So that means you're not free from expectations. So when you're free from expectations and you know that it is very natural, very normal for you to nurture everybody with good wishes and good feelings, and you keep doing that, then you will create a gathering by drawing them closer. Those who are very distant, those who are very different today, they will start coming closer over the years. And those scattered points will come together and will create a good diagram. So Baba says these are the points for creating the fortress of a gathering, and it is very important that we have the power of the gathering, because individually we will never be able to do the work that Baba asks us to do, but in a gathering what Baba asks us to do will become child's play. And I don't know if you remember that. So when one person digs the well alone and 4 people do it together, then the result is not 4 times, it is much more. So mathematics tells you that when 4 people do it together, it takes much lesser time than when one multiplied by 4 also do it. So that is the thing, because when you're doing it together, then every individual also gets a lift and cooperation from each other. Our vibrations, our specialities, our talents, when they work together, then we can achieve much more than what we can do individually. Okay, Om Shanti.